So I have a bucket list, and the thing I'm about to talk about is not on my bucket list. It actually used to be on my bucket list, and then I took it off because, well, at the time I really thought it was kind of stupid that it was even on it. And now it's kind of back on in some capacity. And, well, it's not actually on it. It's just in my mind. It's in my brain, and I'm considering this thing. And I'm actually terrified to commit to it. So, what is it? What am I afraid to doing? So, all of my childhood, let's say, I was a really good athlete. All of my childhood, I was able to be a pretty good athlete who won a lot. So whether it was in swimming, I had records when growing up playing soccer. Like every other kid, I would score a lot of goals. And so I was a decent athlete. Get to college, that all changed. But over the last few months, I have been transitioning my life back into more of a healthy one, which if you've been following for a while, you understand. Quick stat, I am the lightest that I've been in body weight since I've owned a business, which is kind of interesting. Still worked out like 230 something plus days this year, and I don't see that stopping at any point. But there was this thing that was on my bucket list. And I don't know why, because when I was a swimmer, I was a sprinter. And I guess I grew up riding my bike a lot, so there's this thing. But long distances are not something that I really enjoy. However, I'm starting to realize that maybe it's not so bad. So on my bucket list was an Ironman. An Ironman is, I guess, one of the craziest races in the world. Now, my goal would to be just to complete this, but an Ironman is probably a little bit too much for me right now. I'm not giving you any excuses or anything like that. I'm just being realistic with myself right now. David Goggins and Rich Roll would tell me I'm a jerk. But I've run one race my entire life, and that was the Harbor Lights half marathon. So it was a half marathon, 13.1 miles. It was miserable. An Ironman, they also have a half an Ironman, which is what I'm looking at doing right now. So the item that would be on my bucket list, and hopefully I'm doing this episode 2 to convince myself to actually pull the trigger and sign up, because there's only going to be a few spots left. So an Ironman is 70.3 total miles, and you have to finish all of this within like 8 or 8.5 hours. Now there's one roughly 4 hours from my house in Maryland, in Cambridge, where my best friend James lives, and I'm thinking about doing it. So it is a 1.2 mile swim to start. I can do that right now. A 56 mile bike ride. I believe I can do that right now because I'm on my bike basically every day. Maybe not for super long distances like that, but when I do go for long distances, I feel like I can go and keep going. And so I would test that beforehand, I guess, or practice beforehand. There's a trail from 2 cities close to me that I could do. But then the hard thing, the thing that terrifies me, is the run. A half marathon, 13.1 miles. Now I say this, and I try and be super transparent with you guys, because I think it's super important to do things that scare me, that terrify me. And honestly, I'm terrified to commit to this. I have looked at it, I put my name through the registration, and I always give myself an out. I'm like, can't do that yet. It's not a ton of money. It's a couple $100. Yes, there was some other gear that I would have to do, and commitment from a time perspective. Yes, I would have to obviously commit to longer form workouts, right? So yes, there is that I have to think about too. But I kind of think that 2 of the 3 parts I can already kind of do already. And so I don't know where I am. I don't know that I will do this. Obviously, I'm still very much on the contemplation of this. I was just talking to my buddy Nate about it, and he even agrees, like, you can probably do this right now. I can't do the run right now. If I really tried and, like, walked it, I probably could, but, like, it would be miserable, and I don't want it to be miserable. And so, also, I don't want to injure myself. See, these are all excuses, right? But I've been reading a lot of different books and podcasts, and one of the things that continues to come up is people do things that terrify themselves because it's fun, and it makes you stronger. And, you know, this is something that it would be the longest workout of my life, very challenging, not in my backyard, all these crazy things. But it's something that could be very rewarding too. So I tell you about a race that I'm considering doing where all I have to do is finish. I'm not even trying to win. I'm just trying to finish. That's the goal, right? Is to finish that thing. But what in your life are you going through that is terrifying you? That is also a race that seems like something that is going to be insanely difficult to get through. And so when you listen to what I say, you know, oftentimes I hear people like, oh, you know, that doesn't bother you, or you're not worried about that. And I think it's an interesting point because you don't know me. You don't know what I'm thinking, and you don't know where that is bothering me, right? So I do a lot of public speaking. I actually get kind of worried about public speaking, and it kind of terrifies me. But I get through it, and I keep doing it, right? Going up to someone the first time when I network with them, I could be a little nervous doing that, right? So we all go through these scenarios. But it's getting through it. And so it's the same thing with me. It's right. So as soon as I pull the trigger on that race and sign up, it's go time. And I have to start training for that. Maybe not immediately training for that, right? But what is something that you're doing that is terrifying you, that you need to do to not only better your life, but to accomplish? And so I don't know where I'm going to go through this whole process. I don't know where it's going to take me. Do I hope that I sign up? Absolutely. Right? But it's going to take the right encouragement from the right person to tell me to do it, to make me do it. And as crazy as motivational that I could be, inspirational, whatever, and help other people, this is a hard one for me because it's a big commitment and a ton of unknowns. And to a lot of people, you're going through this exact scenario in your life, and it's a race as well. It's just not a half an Ironman. It's something different. But the whole scenario is still there. Investing in your future, right? Investing in yourself. Investing in an opportunity, into a risk. That's what this is. And so I'll keep you posted on where this goes. But I wanted to be transparent on where I'm spending some of my energy thinking about doing this thing when all I literally have to do is type something in and click and go. So it's a crazy, crazy thing to think that I could get scared about this or nervous or the unknowns of it. But we'll see what happens because I'm hoping I do the trigger. I'm hoping like tonight I just am like, I'm doing it. And then I'll be like, I have to do it now. So do things that are scary to you, do things that are risky to you, do things that will make you stronger, because once you do them, the accomplishment will feel so darn good. Have a great weekend, and as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, and if there's anything that I can do for you, let me know. Zack at startwithhatch.com, or hit me up wherever you're listening. Peace. And maybe half an Ironman. Later. Cheers.